The Last Dream, Abel Betancourt. Chapter 7, To Be or Not to Be.
Soon I began to gain greater diffusion and popularity. The oil poured from above made the entire machinery of the web move faster and go farther and farther. The conspiracy theory ceased to be a theory for many loyal followers, and the patriotic spirit ended up blinding them to the point of seeing in each political opponent a possible alien in disguise. At this point, the entire nation and much of the planet seemed to be infected by aliens. That's how I went from being a larva in the huge web of the internet to becoming the mighty spider. To dismiss some annoying official, it was enough for me to mention his name and link him to the plot of the aliens. I became the Robespierre of the web. Just by pointing the finger at the possible traitor, he was immediately guillotined from his public functions, or dragged to court and tried, accused of being too feminist or too liberal, or too scientific or too rational. The sensationalist press echoed the conspiracies and repeated them as confirmed facts. The president and his followers accused the free press media that did not join the conspiracy theory campaign of not taking the threats seriously, of hiding the truth from the people, of conspiring with the conspirators, of being sold out to the other side. And the entire press fell into disrepute. Nothing seemed to be true anymore. Except, of course, the denunciations that we, the patriots, made from our homes through our channels. All this increased the fame of the channel, and my alien and I reached the climax of popularity. And the dream born within my dream came true. I had reached the top of society. I had overcome rationality and logic through absurdity and stupidity. I became Gulliver in the land of the Lilliputians, the king of idiots, the new Messiah. I had been so enthusiastic about all that strength and popularity that I even considered the possibility of launching my own candidacy for the presidency, although I knew that most of my acquaintances, friends, and neighbors took me for a complete idiot. I was also aware that there was nothing in the Constitution that prevented an idiot from becoming president of the nation, or as my ex-wife called me, misogynist, narcissist. My alien had become so famous and influential that it became a trend, not only on social media, but in almost every facet of everyday life. TV commercials were accompanied by images of the alien. Fashion designs looked like astronaut suits. Car models resembled spaceships. And even to praise someone in public, they were called, "You are an alien." In short, he became a kind of idol. Very soon, many humans began to declare themselves extraterrestrials. Regardless of gender or race, many humans now identified themselves as extraterrestrials. Most claimed that they had been born aliens, but that they were trapped in a human body. This brought many controversies. The Orthodox claimed that the self-identified extraterrestrials should be punished in some way, and should be prevented from pretending to be what they were not, forcing them to follow more humane behavior, such as marrying and mating to procreate and things like that. The heterodox, on the other hand, defended the right of individuals to the freedom to choose their identity and even their race, to such an extent that a black human could be identified as a white extraterrestrial, and society had to accept it and respect his or her opinion. And that was not all. Others should be prohibited from publicly denying that such an individual was not what he or she had chosen to be, regardless of what the evidence and reality demonstrated. Of course, the evidence in this case was subjective. The scientific community, which had no idea what made an extraterrestrial, had no choice but to accept that in the absence of evidence that a human was not an alien, it had to be accepted that those who claimed to be were indisputably so. There was also the myth that extraterrestrials were hermaphrodites, so they did not have a defined gender. The anatomy of the human extraterrestrial was not relevant in itself, since this was denied from the beginning, from the moment in which the individual obtained the right to declare himself an extraterrestrial of one gender or another, or even perhaps hermaphrodite, regardless of their anatomical composition or their sexual organs. Reality was only that which the individual had chosen for himself, and as such should be accepted and respected. But, above all, it should never be denied, under penalty of being accused of alien phobia. Alien phobia came to be considered a discriminatory crime. The inability to distinguish a human from an alien made things even more difficult. Public premises were to incorporate toilets for humans and aliens, male aliens, female aliens, and hermaphrodite aliens. The hard thing was, when a Homo alien with male organs declared himself a female Homo alien, in that case, if she or he was prevented from accessing the toilets intended for females, this could create a discriminatory conflict, since it was being publicly denied that this individual was not what he or she had chosen to be, and consequently his or her rights were being violated. As for myself, I had always despised my human condition in some way. Being related, even if only in kind, to some politicians caused me repulsion. So, I considered the possibility of identifying myself as an extraterrestrial.
You can't.
The alien made it clear to me. Why, because you say so? I am and will be whatever I decide to be, whether you like it or not, I replied firmly.
It's one thing to think you are something or someone, and the other is that you are.
He replied. This time I'm not going to let you stop me from doing my will upon myself. I am the sole owner of my body and my being, and neither you nor society nor anyone else can strip me of the right to choose who I am.
You can choose whatever you want, but that doesn't mean you are such a thing. The problem is that you humans have the bad habit of thinking that what you believe becomes reality just because you believe it. But as much as you believe that something or someone is anything other than its nature, that does not alter reality. Believing that a phone is a hammer does not make it one, any more than a human becomes an alien just because he believes that he is. It is one thing for that human to believe himself an alien and identify himself as such, to which he has every right, despite how absurd this may be. What that human does not have is the right to force others to deny reality and to submit them to accept what he believes to be true as a fact that has to be adopted and respected by others, subjecting reason to the will of the absurd. And it is not the first time that this has happened. In fact, it is a constant in the deficient way of thinking of you humans. And if you don't believe me, you can see what happened to Galileo Galilei and so many others who were forced to deny reality just to live under the beliefs of others, which shows how little intelligent you are.
So, you don't intend to accept my choice to identify myself as an alien?
No, because you're not.
Not even out of compassion?
Especially because of that. Compassion is not sufficient justification for mutilating the reason of others. If intelligence yields out of compassion, the only one winning is ignorance. And if my right to defend my reason and my intelligence hurt your fragile human feelings, it is your problem, not mine.
You're a lousy mate. You take pleasure in making me feel bad. Give me just one reason why I couldn't be an alien?
I can give you 1,000 reasons. I'll tell you that every cell in my body is made up of chromosomes different from yours, that your sex organs aren't like mine, and also that your skull is very small. It only fits 1/3 of my brain, which explains your inability to understand anything at all.
I don't give a damn what you say. The truth does not have to be true. It is enough that the rest of the people accept it. You taught me that yourself.
Don't be an idiot. The truth doesn't have to be for all those who have to be manipulated and dominated, but those who rule must live in the truth. Deceiving others is not the same as deceiving oneself. If those who are to be domesticated must believe that 2 + 2 = 5, so be it. But to be in control of yourself, or not to become another sheep of the flock, you must know that 2 + 2 = 4.
When the discussion was getting better, I got a call. It was Mr. Thompson. Hello, Mr. Thompson. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Listen, I have good news for you.
Yes, please tell me.
The president has invited you to the White House. He wants you to be present at his re-election speech this Friday. We will give you a place in the gallery close to the president. Please do not be late and come well dressed. I will send your flight ticket to your email. Now, if you allow me, I must hang up.
The phone was glued to my ear for a couple of minutes. I was petrified. When I caught my breath, I no longer had the desire to continue arguing with my alien. On the contrary, I felt like hugging and kissing him. When I turned to look at him, he was already gone.